I think we should talk about video game movies.
Video game movies, okay, yeah. That's a
The main
interesting place to start. Okay.
the main one I want to start with is the Zelda movie coming out, the live action Zelda movie.
All right.
So, what do you feel like you would want to see from it? Because just to give some context, Tristan is a very huge Zelda. I am as well, but Tristan's a very huge Zelda fan, and when they come to producing movies like this, I feel like a lot of times they don't look into what the fans want, just looking at past video game movies.
Yeah, I feel like I think Sonic was probably the first good video game movie we've had. I think the Mario Brothers movie was like the first amazing video game movie we've had. So like I think pre Super Mario Brothers movie, if you told me Nintendo was making a live action Zelda, I would have been very scared. I still am kind of scared because that idea just sounds a little like 2010 YouTube-ish, you know? But
Yeah.
no, dude, I went to see the Mario movie when it came out. I loved it. It was amazing. I think went back home. Like I think it was on Paramount Plus or something. I watched it again. So I feel like they could deliver. What I would want to see from it, I do feel like live action is the best route to go.
For Zelda?
Yeah, I feel like I would want to see like a live action Zelda over
Oh,
like
okay.
if they put a good budget, like just imagine like Lord of the Rings, but like with the Zelda universe.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine like for the pinnacle of it. Like if they do a crap job, then obviously it's gonna seem like a YouTube video, a YouTube sketch. But yeah, I just imagine like a Lord of the Rings style movie, but the Zelda universe. That sounds.
I guess I wasn't expecting you to be okay with it being live action, because that's the one thing I'm iffy about. I loved what Illumination did with the Mario movie. I'm very excited for the sequel that's coming out. I think it's supposed to be. It said it's supposed to be slated around 2026, I believe, and I just think that they did such a great job with it. I want a Luigi's Mansion movie as well.
Yeah, dude, that sounds amazing.
But
Halloween special.
I was expecting a like I don't know, like a Link's Awakening style, what they did with the new Link's Awakening game, how it was almost like a clay animation type style. I was kind of hoping for that with the Zelda movie. So just to hear it's live action, I'm a little iffy. Do you think it should focus on a central plot point we've already had in the games, or do you think it should be something totally new?
I think it should be something totally new, just so it doesn't get like nitpicked. Like if they were to follow like a Twilight Princess specific story for a Zelda movie, I think it's just going to get nitpicked to death. I think making a very kind of similar to the Mario movie. The Mario movie didn't really follow like any central theme of one of the main games. It was kind of just the basic, like
Yeah.
Plumber is transported to the Mushroom Kingdom, has to fight Bowser, meets Princess Peach. Very simple, there wasn't a
Mario.
lot. Yeah, little fanfare here and there, but it wasn't like, oh, we're going to go the Super Mario Galaxy route for the first movie. I think just keeping it very bare bones as far as, like, honestly, okay, in Zelda 1, that, like, one paragraph, like, wall of text that, like, scrolls through and tells
like
you
Star
the
Wars
entire
style.
story for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they just need to copy that and just use that as the plot and just build on that. I think just keeping it simple for the first time is probably the best. But
I guess I can agree with it. I can
like
agree with that.
just when I think of Mario, I do think of like not live action. I do think of like an animated thing. Like I think the Mario world is presented best. Because how are you gonna show toads in live action? I mean, you just said that's gonna look corny. I think animated is the best way for like that style of movie. But I do think there's a lot of room for them to make. Because the thing I just kind of go back to is Lord of the Rings. I feel like there's kind of a lot of similarities there. So it's just like making that universe of Hyrule in like a super high budget Lord of the Rings style movie. I think would be a hit.
I think it gives it some credence, the fact that Miyamoto does have a direct hand in this movie, which obviously he should. So I'm hoping that'll bring good things from it. I just it's just a bit of an awkward topic to think about it being
Yeah,
live action.
it is. But I mean, even when they said, like, if you think about it, a few years ago, whenever the Mario movie got announced, and they made that video where they were showing the actors involved, and we saw Chris Pratt, Jack Black. Everybody was like, "Man, this movie's gonna be shit. Like, this is gonna suck."
Wait, which one voiced Donkey Kong? Was it bro, I was about to say.
I know Jack Black was Bowser. I can't remember who did Donkey Kong.
I know
but-
who it is. I just can't forget his name. I mean, I just can't remember his name. But when everybody heard that he was Donkey Kong, everybody's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, I mean, it was like it was a joke, and I think a lot of stuff. That's one thing I do like about Nintendo. I think that'll like kind of segue into like our next topic a little bit once we get off of this. But I feel like Nintendo always has, like, I think new ideas are always kind of rejected initially,
Yeah.
and so I think that makes a lot of people scared to try new ideas. Now I think Nintendo does a really good job at pushing out new ideas, kind of dealing with the backlash, but then we all realize like, wait, this is actually amazing and like never been done before. And so like I think with the Mario movie, I think it's first in its class in being like a really good video game movie. I think most of the others were just either okay or just abysmally terrible. So it's like I'm gonna trust them. You know, they're 1-for-1 right now. So 1-for-2. I'm gonna trust it. But yeah, dude, I mean, I love Zelda. I love everything Zelda. I'd love to see like dude, I want like, when I say like Lord of the Rings, I want like a 4-hour extended cut. I want 3 movies, dude.
I would
Just
watch
go ahead
that.
and make
I
it
would
3
watch
movies,
that.
man. I think Zelda 2 is something that like, there's a lot of, like in the games at least, there's a lot of style and personality without there being like this really deep story with all the characters. Which I think works very well for like the games.
Yeah.
But when I do think about like some of the more story-driven Zelda games, I would love to see them just fully go in that direction. Like I don't need like a 30-minute action scene in a live-action Zelda movie. I would love for them to explore like
Some of the lore.
yeah, and the characters, you know, like I mean when we picture Link, we just picture, you know, this kid in a green tunic that's quiet. I mean, he doesn't speak, and I think they have a lot of opportunity to give him a lot of personality in the movie. So
Do you think he should speak in the movie?
100%, yeah. That'd be awkward if he didn't. That would be that if that's the idea they're going with, then that actually is the idea I will reject. I'm like, nah, that ain't it.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think there's a lot of room for them to really expound on the Zelda universe. And I imagine, too, it would be targeting a slightly older audience. I mean, I feel like with the Mario movie, it's you know, obviously adults are going to be into it that love Nintendo, but they're targeting kids
That's another
ultimately.
thing.
It's
Again, it was
something that-
Illumination. You know, same people who did Despicable Me and all that. So.
Yeah, I mean, like 7-year-olds can go see that movie and love it and enjoy it, you know. But I hope that Zelda maybe will have a little bit more like we're really going to lock in on the core fan base of this franchise.
Yeah, with that being the case, though, I think their marketing has to be on point for it because, like, you know, any child could see a trailer for the Mario movie and be like, hey, I want to go watch that. Not even knowing what Mario is, but, you know, not every adult's going to see a Zelda trailer and be like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope that, like, they kind of don't separate it too much. Like, I like the Mario movie because it was very accessible to kind of kids that don't know anything about the Mario universe. They've maybe never even played a Mario game. But as an adult, you go and watch it. That's the one thing I loved is all the little Easter eggs. It's like every 5 minutes there was this little Easter egg that most people probably not even picked up on, you know. But like as a longtime Nintendo fan, like that's just kind of like candy to me to like see that, you know. So I would hope with the Zelda movie they go in a direction where it's not as, I guess, like I want them to hone in on the core fan base, but I also want them to make it something that's like accessible to people, kind of like the Fallout show. Like, I mean, my mom never played a Fallout game. She knows nothing about Fallout. She watched the Fallout show.
She liked it, right?
Yeah, she loved it. She was just like, is this like what the games are? And I'm just like,
Sort of.
sort of, yeah. But like, yeah, just making it like open and accessible, so just anybody goes and like sees the trailer and they're like, oh, that looks like a really good movie. Which is kind of why I was saying I think they should just kind of like keep it bare bones as far as like the story start at the beginning, you know?
Yeah. If they can execute it right, I believe it would be like a success like the Fallout show and um, gaining an audience other than the target demographic of Zelda fans.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Mario movie made $1 billion, so I imagine they have a lot of room now to make a hit. So
The only thing that kind of worries me, I know you said that the Zelda universe is very stylized, um, but I feel like depending on what part of the series you're talking about, the stylization is so different. Like going from Twilight Princess to Wind Waker
yeah,
to Link's Awakening to Minish Cap, it's all which the latter three are all more like them than Twilight Princess,
hmm
but I think you kind of catch my drift. It's like I wonder what they're going to try to emulate, or if they. I feel like, kind of like you were saying earlier about doing a whole new plot and not trying to fixate on a singular plot.
yeah. Which
That
most Zelda games in general are kind of just like reimaginations. I feel like of the same
that's
like
true. That's true.
legend,
Yeah,
just kind of in their own little like universe.
yeah.
Um,
So I figure like they can do their own stylization of it too, almost in a way similar to like Echoes of Wisdom with the change of plot. I know you haven't played it yet,
mhm.
but the kind of change in the formula is very similar to the past Zelda games, but it feels very unique, very stylized to what it is. And I feel like they can do the same thing with the movie with a wholly unique approach to it
Yeah,
this time around as well. I think Zelda's very adaptive. It
yeah,
adapts
I
well to
agree.
whatever they try to do.